Hello, Year 12. Hopefully by now you're fairly familiar with my assessment videos. The one that we're going to go through today is for your next assessment task for Advanced English, which is Task 3, Module B, King Henry. So as always, please follow along with your gold sheet. So you can see that the next assessment task is a very clean, straightforward essay. As you can see on your gold sheet, you've got your weightings and your outcomes. And you'll note also that it is Friday, the 23rd of May. So that will be during that just after the middle of lunch, starting at 2 o'clock. Okay, so what do you need to do for this assessment task? It's designed to check your understanding of the module. So we're thinking holistically of the module. But we know it's not the HSC, it's not even the trial. We're actually going to tell you today exactly what part of the rubric we are zooming in on. And that is, as it says in bold here, about your own rich interpretation of the text. So one of the reasons that Shakespeare's so popular is there's so many different ways you can interpret his meaning. The rubric is encouraging you to really have your own reading, your own perspective, your own take on Shakespeare, his meaning and his message. And that's what we are going to zoom into for this assessment task. Now, even though you don't know the exact wording of the question, you do know that it's going to be derived from that particular part of the module description. Additionally, we're making it a lot easier for you because we're going to tell you that there's an extract on the day and it's going to come from Act 5. So I really want you to think about how the play ends. You don't know whereabouts in Act 5, but you know that it's going to be thinking about the final, how it all ties up. So even though you've got an extract on the day, and even though I'm telling you right now you deal with Act 5, of course I want you to also show your wider understanding of the text as your prescribed text. On the day, again, it's not a HSC exam, it's not the trial, so we're making life a little bit easier for you and giving you planning time. It's very similar to what we did for Module C. So you will have 5 minutes to engage with the question and engage with the extract. That allows you to annotate all over it and there'll be space for you to plan out your response. Now, unlike the exam where you have 40 minutes, we are going to give you 45 to do it in the writing booklet. Okay, so a reminder as well that of course you'll always be using your NESA number, and very similar to what you did with Module C, of course there's no materials that can be brought into the assessment. It will very likely be that you'll be even in the same room as what you were for Module C, so I'll get you to check the rooming when it gets a little closer. Disability provisions will be provided and you'll be either in the gym or up on level 4. Okay, so there is a little point of difference that as we are moving towards that final product of the HSC, we are making a little bit more challenging each time. We're trying to pull back that support a bit to get you ready for that final challenge. And in this assessment task, it comes in regards to the draft. So rather than it being a typed up thing that you do at home and submit to your teachers, everyone will be doing a draft during week 2. So it's still 2 weeks out from the final submission. And it will be more of an exam practice test like situation to help build up that exam readiness, the speed, the fluidity, how quickly you can respond to a question. Your teachers will give you some more details about how that will happen in the classroom. Okay, you can also see you've been given the marking criteria. This is the criteria that the teachers will use to assess your submissions. Now, as always, there's 5 bands, A, B, C, D, E. I'm going to zoom in now on the A range. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're assessing 3 things. How well you've got a personal interpretation of the text as per the question. Now, to simplify that down as easily as I can, really the first dot point is, are you answering the question and how well are you doing that? The second dot point is about how well you have revealed your knowledge of the text and analyze that evidence. So that's the nuance of your evidence. Is it seamless? Is it cohesive? Does it tie together to prove your thesis? Are you analysing the way that the play has been constructed? Think about those macro forms. So really that comes down to knowledge of the text and analysis of it. The last dot point, pretty much the same as all other English assignments, and that's your control of language and form. So do you have a perceptive argument? Now obviously that's a Just another way of saying a thesis that is articulated with a strong voice, appropriate to the form. So how well is it written? Your compositional, language control, structure, those sort of things. Okay, so just to quickly sum up, I'd like you to start thinking about really honing in on that interpretation, so your personal engagement with the play. It might involve you reading more academically, reading wide readings, think about what do you agree with, what do you disagree with, to really inform your own perspective. And as I said, you know we're going to be referring to Act 5 deliberately, so I would encourage you all to revise that section with particular attention. Practice responding to different questions is a really great way to prepare for this assessment task. You might look at some past HSC, I'm sure your teachers will give you some as well. You might start at doing it in 60 minutes and then shave it back to 50, then try to do it in 45. You might start with doing it with 10 palm cards out on your table and then shave it back with only the 3 that you keep forgetting to then doing it with 0 palm cards. Those flashcards or palm cards should be there to help memorize your evidence, and I challenge you all to try to find nuanced evidence. You don't want to rely on just the obvious. Especially thinking forward to the HSC, you want to show the marker that you've got deep personal understanding of the text, not relying on just the quotes that are the most popular on Google, on a Google search. Thinking as well about that control of language, we do know, of course, that we are marking what's essentially a first draft, but it is advanced English, so we want to see that confident voice. So maybe building a vocab table, obviously carefully editing your work, practicing under time conditions will also help. If you have any questions, I urge you first to talk to your classroom teacher. You'll notice, obviously, like every gold sheet, that what you've just signed for, that all of the, a summary of the NESA requirements are on the back page of the gold sheet. So please make sure that you're on top of all of those things. And if you've got issues with misadventure or anything like that, please come and see me. I'm always happy to help. Thank you, Year 12. Good luck and work hard.